Dummy Switch Pod, the world's greatest rugby podcast. How are you, Chris?
Very well, thanks, Coders. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Joining you from Ellis Park this evening,
Yes, sir. I see the
as you can
background.
see.
I
We
love
weren't
it. I
able
love
to
it.
get it done at Ellis Park, but second time round
Yeah,
of asking in Australia, we got it done.
yeah. Second time around in Australia, it's just disappointing to go back to back without a win. Ellis Park should have been a win, without a doubt. And I think the New Zealand showed their ruthlessness in the second test against Argentina, and that's something that we don't really possess at the moment, because even in the second game against Australia, we could have put more on them, could have really put them away.
There were times we could have really been clinical. But like what the thing for me is that great teams, they never lose 3 in a row, or it's very rare that they lose 3 in a row. We've seen that with New Zealand now, with them coming to South Africa, and we've seen it with South Africa going to Australia.
Yeah.
You lose 1-2 to lose big teams, don't lose 3 in a row. And I think especially for when it comes to those betting odds, that's one that pays off more time than not. But I mean, this Bok team a bit rejigged. Willemse at 10. The casualties of war starting to show a bit. Lukhanyo arm out. Looking at the lineup, you get a bit nervy about it, but it was comfortable throughout.
Yeah, bit nervy, but then I think just the intensity and actually in a way, almost dismissive nature of the Boks in that second test, because they were just single-minded, that, listen, no matter what, this game is going to be won by the Springboks. And yeah, you could tell that, you could sense that attitude, And look, it's positive because that evolution that we've been talking about, you can see that it's starting to sort of show itself, in the games, that there is something that's there, and yes, rightly so, we've been calling for that, and now we're seeing that, and now it's the question around personnel, because, okay, when they picked Willemse at 10, it was, I know it was always the plan, because basically that's what they were saying. If you're, reading the articles from the comments from the coaches, that, just like, oh no, it was always planned. We always knew he's a 10 and whatnot. And it's like, really? Did you? Because, why wait until, injuries happen before you give him a shot, So,
yeah, even, I mean, for me, you're talking about the game plan and the evolution. I think even from half to half, we saw it. First half, there was this. It's almost like there was that mandate and that reliance on kicking. You saw Dialendi from early on the edge of the 22. You can play hands. He's looking for corners. The same thing. Well. Canan Moodie carrying on that URC form. His first go at, he had a go at Korobeti. And tried the inside pass. The inside pass was there. You could have played hands. It's just Creel knocked it on. But you've got Willie LaRue moaning, saying, why didn't you kick it through, kick it behind? And I think you're talking about evolution in game plans. I think from the second half, that's when it was more of they found that balance between hands and kicking as well. Universal Soldiers try. That was it was hands. My Pimpies tried. It was hands. So I think they found the balance more, and it's just refinement. But that's the problem with us. We can't keep taking steps back, step forward.
Yeah, like going, we did it dabbling in what we're trying to do, and also I think it's also around even the personnel, because you need to be able to identify that, for particular way that you want to play, You've got guys, instinctively, Canan Moodie wants to keep the ball in hand, He doesn't want to just kick it, and it's, yes, the evolution of the game plan, but also there needs to be that evolution of the mindset, in terms of Or I guess just that game awareness of, when it's on, play just that decision making on the best option. I mean, if you got a 5-on-2 overlap, or was it 5-on-2 overlap, and you kick the ball, it's really around your decision making. Are you really playing heads up rugby? Are you looking up? Yes, you've got the structure, but play what's in front of you. The opportunities are there, and you're not taking those opportunities. And as we say, in Test rugby, there's very few of them. And when you're presented with so much, a plethora of opportunities, you have to back yourself to take them. And look, right, granted, they did so in the second half, but
there were a lot of chances, and it was coming from that go forward. Visa, he only knows one direction. Kolisi was that guy. Kolisi, it was three things. It was his hands, his work on the ground, his rocks. Carries. He was getting it done. There's the whole forward pack, Marks even. You talk about personnel. There's always the revolving conversation around the bomb squad and who should be starting, should really. You look at this one, it's like, why don't we just go back to playing this type of a lineup and then taking it as far as it can go before you start making changes?
Yeah, because that's what happened on the weekend. They backed those guys. It wasn't about bomb squad at all, 60 minutes and whatnot. It is the feel of the game. Just let the boys play. And when it's needed, make the change. Not just make a change for the sake of making a change. For the
sake of making the change,
yeah. Thinking you just need to get to a point where now we picking strongest 15, where obviously I think they're still looking around, in terms of that, just to find that, to solidify their strongest 15 that's going to go to the World Cup, or that's going to start in the World Cup, so you can understand, I think, the past couple of weeks, I think there's really been just thinking around, world rugby things are closer now. Teams are much closer, because, and that's thanks to professionalism. It's good for the game. Yes, and yes, each country, supporters will have standard requirements. We want to win. It's nice to know your team is a winning team. And at the same time, as supporters, we need to understand that we're starting to see it, even though there's still question marks, no doubt, but at least we are starting to see some sort of moving pieces. But I think that we need to be braver, in just because, I mean,
roll that dice, man. Let the boys play.
I mean, look at it. You've got Ulrich Low, fine, you gave Canan Moodie a shot, and look at what he's done. You know what I mean?
And exactly, that's why I want to bring it. I want to bring it to the point of we should never be in this position again where we're putting Jesse Creel on the wing, and not even just to single out Jesse Creel, playing players out of position when we have wingers in. It's not like the hooking position where we've got Dion Fourie covering at hooker. It's like we've got players in this position. This should be a signal to show that we're done with that. That's over.
Yeah, that it really should be, because I mean, look, he's testament. Let the person that's been playing there all season performing, let him play there. It's the same as, even I think the real problem that we have, and we're going to see, over time, maybe, is at 13. Because
exactly, that's the next step. That's the next step where we got to say it's the guys that play there must play there. Jesse Creel, again, not to single him out, even though I love to single him out. He did okay. But the thing is, he was just racking and doing defensive work. He didn't show anything outside of that. And I mean, is it his fault? Is he also playing to the mandate like what it was with the kicking? But eventually we're going to need to see a guy like maybe Simelane. And even the fact of the matter is there's an SAA game coming up. Who's going to play SAAs?
Yes.
We've got out. It's the whole international series now. He's going to be out. So it's now a thing of play the guys that have been playing there.
Yeah, cost the net. You mentioned Simelane. I'm thinking of Kamlashe. You know, I'm thinking Zulindaba, you know, it's have a look at them. You understand? No, you've got your rating system and whatnot, but there's no perfect sort of rating system, you know, in terms of picking order and whatnot. Sometimes
even Cornell Hendricks, man, Cornell Hendricks, let's just sort out the test, you know, there. We'll see. We've seen Christian Eriksen play for United after having a heart attack there, man. Let's phone Benny. Let's phone Benny and see if the medical team they can maybe do us a solid and test him.
Yeah, you know, like cross the net. Let's really find out, you know, who are the guys that you have. And like you mentioned, that SAA game is really an opportunity for that, you know, especially to see other guys that have been in the squad before. They can offer something different, you know, because I think we need to have a variety of weapons, you know, as much as, yes, they can, the physicality is always number one demand, but we need to have, in terms of the way that we play, you know, Willemse is taking it flat to the line. He's putting guys like Lewis into space, you know.
Yeah, something Pollard doesn't have.
Our forwards can play with ball in hand, you know. It would be nice to see, you know, maybe a loose forward, and hear me out when I say this, like one of the Dupree twins, you know, that has the ability to be abrasive in the contact situation, but also free the ball up, you know, for continuity, because sometimes you don't want to take the ball to deck, you know, you want to keep it alive. It's just around that way. I think I want to see more from our coaching group, you know, in terms of that selection, and also just really having that, how can I say, that harder edge, you know, being tougher to beat, you know, because that first test against Australia, yes, there were some calls and whatnot, but it just seemed like it was slightly too easy, you know. And for me, that's where we must be able to have that rotation where we know that, okay, we're going to put these guys in and they can get the result, you know, because playing minutes, it's physicality, it's gonna catch up at some point, you know. In the professional area, it is going to, and I think it's really, it would be reaching for us to expect the same 15 to be at 100% week in, week out. That's really, it's not really possible, but we can negate that, because I think we can have three solid packs, you know, three solid packs. It's just in the backs, you know, things are still figuring themselves out, but, you know, we just want to see that, you know, as a Bok dynasty, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, that's like what you want to see, you know?
Yeah, I mean, especially you look at the Hendrikse, for me, that's something that you think about maybe a year ago. You think about the Lions series, we were still searching for that backup nine, you know. So we've come some way in finding. I mean, even Willemse solidifying 15, Willie coming off the bench, it's been better in that way. So I think strides have been made. Hendrikse even is he our starting number 9 from now on. That was a performance. That was a real performance.
That was, you know, and you have to give him, you know, his applause, because he's taken his opportunity and he's making it difficult, and that's what we want to see, making it difficult for whoever has been the incumbent, you know, to know that, you know,
Visa the same. Visa's done the same. He's done the same thing. He's stepped up from having a few Joseph Dweba moments. He's solid.
He has. And again, that's where now the patience comes in, because, you know, Visa, he's now finding his stride. And I think we need to also understand that not all the players will adapt at the same pace, you know, just being really objective about it, you know. So you don't be surprised if Dweba still gets another look in, you know, to see whether, you know, particularly mentally, whether he can hold his edge, hold his nerve, and actually show, because all he needs is just one good performance, you know, and that belief in himself can grow. And yeah, but yes, you're right. Strides have been made, you know, but we're still not there completely. We're still not there completely.
Yeah, not there completely. Argentina, good 2 tests coming up for further investigation.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It really is. In Argentina, I think a different animal. Yes, they may have taken 50. They may have taken 50, but look, New Zealand is always going to bounce back. But they have a very good coaching group with Michael Cheika. He's an innovative coach. Let's not deny that. He's won some things. He's at least reached the final of the World Cup. So, he can make a difference. We just need to be, I think our coaching group needs to be very, very aware of the potential tactics that they use, because they made that adjustment from first test to second test.
It's going to be more physical. We're not going to dominate the same way that we dominated in the second test. So that's my main thing, is that we're not going to dominate in the same way physically. Secondly, the back line has got to be firing in Argentina, which typically it hasn't done in recent visits. So those are the 2 main things for me.
And for me, it's just backing. They picked Willemse now, right? And he's shown, he's performed. Okay, yes, the kicking from hand wasn't as great in the second test, but they picked him, he's delivered. They need to back him. And for me, now, if they say that, no, this was always the plan, whatever, the other guys are injured, right? So they need to back this guy. The other guys, they need to, he needs to play himself out of the position, basically. That's what I'm saying. The other guys need to just watch, regardless of picking order and caps and whatnot. Then that gives opportunity then to have a look, even the 15 for, guys like Fassi, to potentially get an opportunity. You know what I mean? Because they've come out and they said, it was the plan and whatnot. So
yeah, we're not going to the next World Cup with the same starting 15, and I think we held on to that starting 15 for too long. Yeah. Any closing remarks? Looking forward to the 2 tests.
Yeah, looking forward to the 2 tests. Argentina, I think we have to focus on bonus points. The only way, if they're gonna win, if the Springboks are gonna win this rugby championship, they need to bonus points all the way. And look, we like Bafana now will depend on Australia to pull one over New Zealand, and that will give us the points. But yeah, it's still there for the taking. They need to take it. It's the long, hard way, but it's a chance to prove, really, show the mettle. But I don't really see it.
I'm believing. I think this time I'm believing. You're normally the believer. I'm the one believing this time. The rugby championship, it's coming home. It's coming home, guys. That's we will. That's it for us this week, guys. Thanks for watching.